Our topic today is actually about these little ones. Chloe, did you go swimming today? I see a swimsuit.
Chloe, they're asking about your swimsuit.
You did not. You were just pretending to go swimming.
No way, that's the best. A pretend swim?
The ocean.
Yeah, they pretended they were on a beach vacation today.
That's amazing.
And it's been a bad day.
No.
Oh,
no.
A bad day.
Yes, every day's a bad day now.
Yeah, that's not
I'm going to mute for 1 minute.
Oh, I love the pretend stuff. That actually came up, what was it? Oh, in our recent email, it was around, we wrote something around, a lot of people are missing out on events right now. And it's kind of like, ship a gift, invite them to a happy hour where you guys can just pretend that you're anywhere. If you missed a vacation, pretend you're sipping Mai Tais in the sand or something. So we can learn a lot from these kids, for sure.
Angela, I will tell you, and Jill, I don't know if you saw this, but 4EG, which is the big bar, they actually have now through Zoom, I haven't figured out how to use that, but you can use the bar as a background and everyone can go into a Zoom party, say, Jill, at Righteous Room, we could all be like in there. So like, I think that's something we'll see as some of these bar, at least in Cincinnati they did it, but like that you can actually, you all get the beach in the background or a place in the background and be like, do this, but we're all like on a beach somewhere.
That's awesome. I actually also was on a call the other day and they mentioned something about editing and utilizing a different background. So I'm going to look into that because all you guys see behind me is this lovely gray wall and it's not very pretty. I wish I could take this virtual happy hour outside, but unfortunately bandwidth does not let me do that. So we'll still chit chat for a few more minutes. I usually wait until about 5 after, and then we can get started. There's usually some people, I think, just getting home from work and things like that. So Maggie, good to have you on today. Nice to see your smiling face. And for everyone, Maggie works at .loop, and I've known her for probably as long as I've known Lauren, or almost as long anyway. I've known Lauren a little bit longer. But she's been part of the .loop family for forever, so I feel like she's like one of our own as well.
Hey, Maggie.
Glad to have you on. All right, so as we're waiting for people, oh, go ahead, Maggie, sorry.
I just said your bangs are cute.
Oh my gosh, I cut them today. Did you see that? I trimmed them. I did my own trim.
Oh, there's a kid in the back. The life of parenting with kids right now at home all the time.
Yes, and whether it's children, spouses, or little animals like my little Perry over here, there's always distractions, and so that's some of the topics that we're going to get into today as well, is like how we're dealing with kind of this new reality of working at home and this new kind of virtual reality kind of aspect and some of the challenges that come along with that, because there are many. So we'd definitely love to hear, what are your guys' as we're kind of waiting for another minute or two before everyone kind of joins, what are your guys' biggest challenges so far in working at home? This is kind of actually a big question, but we'll kick it off with that.
So personally, it's just been like if me and my boyfriend have a conference call at the same time, it's, hey, where do we go? Because he yells on the phone no matter what. He's always like so high, like more energized, which I love, but I mean, I cannot be near him if he's on the phone and I'm on the phone. So if it's not nice outside, I don't really know what we'll do. We haven't really came like to that yet. It's been nice enough to where we could go outside and stuff. So fingers crossed, our schedules will keep, coordinating to where we're not both on appointments.
Who else can relate to that?
I heard all through the background of our calls, so for sure.
Anyone else? What are some other struggles, the biggest things that you guys are finding as a challenge working from home?
Not being able to see people and leave the home. That's the biggest challenge. Yeah, I mean, you can only do so much on video, you know, and that's great for certain companies or certain things or keeping in touch with friends. But, you know, I think everyone's got a new value of like the importance of face to face, and it's really still always been the most important thing, right? And I think it gets lost. A lot of people have lost that through just doing emails or texting or whatever. And so, like, for someone who is such a face to face person, you know, it's obviously really hard for me, but I think a lot of people are starting to now do this more, and maybe that'll be one of the good things that comes from it, is they'll realize the value more of face-to-face time versus just a text or an email, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I think communication, I think one thing I've learned too is that you can't over communicate. And I think we sort of mentioned it on the past happy hours that like coming out of this, I think we'll gain a lot of positivity as a society as a whole, because we're going to be used to communicating and over communicating with friends and family. And I don't know about you guys, but even with my family here, like I've seen everybody more and talked to people more so than I did before. Just not having that option to see people in person. So I think in reality, like once we end with this, we'll all have a takeaway from it to where we communicate actually better with one another moving forward. But it's 5:06. We're gonna get started. So as always, we'll start off with a cheers. So cheers to actually being able to gather together. Even though we're all in our separate homes, we can still be together in some way. So cheers, family, friends, newcomers. Cheers, everyone, to just being together. One thing I learned too, which is kind of hard to do over virtual, but in Italia, it is bad luck if you do not look somebody in the eye when you cheers them. So it's crazy to do over internet, but look each other in the eye, cheers, and be grateful. Carrie, hi. Welcome. We're gonna get started. We just did a cheers, but cheers to Carrie for joining. Cheers. So, as always, I'll kind of go over really quick. Thanks for joining our happy hour. Each week we promise to deliver some kind of valuable takeaway for you, whether it be to educate, entertain, or just to share an experience and to share time together. And as you all know, kind of each week we have sort of like a topic that we sort of chat about, and then we leave it open for open discussion. And I'll give a little interlude to this week's topic, and then I'll introduce our guest hosts. So by now, what we've kind of talked about already too is like we've all embraced this new virtual reality and this working from home, and that poses tons of challenges. And we are essentially being a little bit more open in our lives, and we're inviting people into our homes that we typically wouldn't do. So whether it be a workplace or work person, employee, prospective, prospect, whatever it may be, we're inviting those people into our homes and being a little bit more vulnerable and being a little bit more open in our communications. And we're actually becoming a bit more human, I believe, in doing that. And through this, we're actually going to be being able to communicate a little bit more often and more authentically. So I think there's a lot of positivity coming out of this, but of course there's its challenges. So today's topic is quality time at home, but with kids, pets, husbands, oh my. So much is going on in the home. And we have here today, we have my dear friend Emily, who lives in Chicago and has her 2 little ones on the call, which is absolutely perfect. And we also have our social media account manager, Olivia, who has an 8-year-old daughter, and they both will be discussing tips for work-life family balance and how to educate and entertain during this time. So without further ado, I would like to turn it over to Emily and Olivia. And I don't know if anyone wants to go first, if you want me to pick on you.
You can go ahead.
Let's start with Em. Em, why don't you lead off and tell us just kind of your experience so far and some tips that you have for, people that are listening that might have little ones, or even, the husband at home as well. Like, how are you balancing work and family in this new environment?
Well, I mean, it's the children always, I never have like a minute to myself anymore. But it's been amazing family time. So we're we're kind of capitalizing on this time that we have to do new things. Like the kids have learned how to do forward rolls this week, and because now all we have is time on our hands, right? Like I think adults are learning hobbies or picking up like knitting or doing puzzles. Same with the kids. Like they're like Noah's mastering his catch skills because we have time just to play catch for 30 minutes, there's no running to and from activities, but but so I never get a minute to myself, but that's okay too. So I was talking to Angela earlier this week about how I think we're all in different phases of the quarantine. We started week 3, and it was like, the first week there's so much like, oh yay, we get to stay home from school, and mom's a teacher, what a novelty. And now the novelty is wearing off, and now the reality of like, wow, when am I ever going to see my friends again, is starting to kick in. So it's harder to motivate, I think, the educational things now because it's not as cool. And now it's just kind of like, and we've also had terrible weather here. So we have not been getting outside. We've had like rain for 4 days straight. It's been freezing cold. I mean, it hit 50 today and we were so ecstatic. Like that was like amazing weather for us. So, so we've definitely had like some highs and lows, but it's been all about staying positive, and like we're only week 3. So we could be doing this for like another 5 or 6 weeks. So I think staying super positive is the key, because just like we've been saying, like the virus hasn't hit its peak yet. Like we can't hit our peak yet and like being trapped in our houses. We've got to stay positive until like this thing's nearing an end. But overall, we've been having a lot of fun. And yeah, so today we were supposed to make Rice Krispie treats, and all of the grocery stores were out of Rice Krispies. So Noah was super bummed out about that, because that was supposed to be a special treat for today. Like we don't normally make Rice Krispie treats on a Wednesday, but it's one of those special things that we can do now that we have time. But yeah, and Noah's up for bedtime, and Chloe can't decide what she wants to do. Come on up, come on up. She's frustrated. She can't hear the audio either because it's in my ears.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's kind of the experiences that we're having. But yeah, we're having family dinners every night, which like, those are always so rushed in a weeknight with getting to soccer and school and everything. So slowing down and also getting frustrated sometimes too. Yeah. So that's my story. That's kind of going on here.
Tell us a little bit more about as far as like keeping the structure. You touched on that a little bit, but we were chatting about it yesterday, and I thought it's pretty interesting, like that you have to get back on schedule now. It's important for the kids, it's important for you guys.
Yeah, give me 1 minute. Hold on, just a minute.
Well, Emily's gone attending to life. Have you guys experienced that as well? And maybe Olivia, you can jump in too, as far as different things of, like have you guys formulated a new schedule and are, appreciating time with family right now and trying to capitalize? I thought that was really important that Emily said, kind of capitalizing on family time right now. And all we have on our hands is time. So
right.
Has anyone else kind of related to some of those points that Emily shared?
Yeah, I've taken this time to introduce Star Wars to my kids. They're 5 and 7, and so we started at like episodes 4, 5, and 6, the old ones. Now we're in the early 2000s ones, and we're going to keep going, but they're loving it. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of lightsaber fights happening in my house, which is kind of scary, but
that's good. The classics.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. Thanks for sharing. Olivia, do you want to go ahead and jump in, and then Emily, I'll have you kind of recirculate at the end as well. But Olivia, why don't you go ahead and share some of your experiences and some tips with everyone as well?
Yeah, no problem. So like Emily was saying, it's weird how like the first week it was all really exciting. Like, oh my gosh, we're working from home. Like the kids are home. Like this is so cool. And then like second week and we're like, really getting on each other's nerves. We're stepping on each other's toes. And then this week we just started school. So I was homeschooled my whole life. So it's kind of like natural to do school at home anyway. But teaching someone else, woo, different story. So it's been like challenging, but I mean, we've just been trying to like keep a good schedule. So we live in a townhome, but we went over to the house that we're renovating to stay quarantined in. So we've just been like cleaning, renovating, organizing like crazy. Just really trying to like get out as much as we can and walk and get outside. And I mean, we just have time like we've never had it before. Like she was saying, we've had family dinner, puzzles, like we played a board game every night. So it's been like just so different than what our normal routine is. And I'm almost like, I mean, I know this is such a tragedy and it's so, negative on so many people, but it's like in our personal household, it's been like just really changing.
I'm mute. Thank you. I want to loop in really quick because I know Carrie's on the call. Carrie, how has it been with you and your kids? What have you experienced? And reminder to turn off mute. Is Carrie still here? Yes.
There we go. Same thing really as everyone else is saying. The first week was exciting. I wasn't really doing much work. Last week I started doing, having to really work from home and kicking that in. I'm also watching my nieces. So there's 4 kids here. So I'm trying to I'll get up and I'll try to get some work in. Then I go and pick up my nieces, and John's been spending the night at their house every night because we all live on the same kind of land and none of us are going anywhere. So if I'm watching them, we all have the same germs apparently right now. So pick up the kids, bring them home. I try to do some schoolwork with them. I try to work throughout the day here and there. And then usually John's been going back to their house again at night. I'll try to, we are making dinner every night. So that is different. Usually we're rushing around from work to sports to, picking up dinner or something. So we're just kind of making it work.
Yeah, definitely. My daughter's cheer has been canceled. So it's like right now, normally at this time we would be at cheer right now. So it's like just the constant go, go, go and like constant routine has just been flipped. And I mean, I can't even remember the last time I've had this much free time at home. So one thing I've been trying to do more when I'm at the house is pick one project a day and just run with it, whether that be clean out the junk drawers or go through the linen closet, throw out a bunch of old sheets, whatever it may be, to just kind of declutter as each day goes by. And then hopefully by the end of all this, we'll have done spring cleaning way, way bigger than we ever would have been. And we'll all be organized, refreshed, and ready to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, the cleaning out, there's a Goodwill several blocks down the street that sometimes we pass, and every day there's a mound of junk. Everyone in the city is cleaning out their homes while they're at home, tons of stuff every day. It's no one wants to touch that potential virus stuff out on the street. So yeah.
That's a good thing to try to focus on. I think we can get overwhelmed with everything that's going on, and just focusing on one task and one specific thing. Even in work, I try to help my team too. What's our top 3? What are the top 3 things that are our focus? And I think it's important for, not only the workplace, but the home life as well, because it can get so overwhelming. I can't imagine. I just have my little Paris and Austin, who's a big kid, but I can't even imagine running a full household plus dealing with, work environments and everything. So cheers to all the rock star moms out there for sure. Another question, or Olivia, I know you had some tips. Will you share a few of the tips? I'd like to get kind of our audience some specific tips and things that they can act upon quickly. I know you shared some of those on Insta. Will you just kind of reinstate maybe your top favorite 5?
Yeah, absolutely. That's so funny. I wrote some down and there's 5. So
cool.
That's perfect. So I had shared, I've been trying to each day on social media, reach out to 5 new people and just really engage and like just socialize more. And just reach out to people that are like commenting on my stuff and that support me in what I do. So that was a big thing for me, is socializing more. We're all on social media all the time, so being social should be natural, but typically we're just scrolling. So really just like reaching out to people. Another one was decluttering. So like I said before, just picking a project and really running with it. Set timers. So like when you're doing, phone time or Instagram or closet cleaning or whatever, just setting a timer to really like keep focused and just kind of like stay on track. And then once that timer's up, just moving to the next thing. Going on walks a lot, which has been such a blessing. If you're from Cincinnati, it's been pretty decent out. And then just basically changing my mindset from being stuck at home to being safe at home. So just really like, understanding that we're not stuck in the house, we're just safe in the house. So
that's great. That's actually really kind of powerful in a way. Like, yeah, a different mindset definitely helps for sure.
And then also, forgot, if anybody is doing schooling at home, there is a ton of amazing Schoolhouse Rock videos. I don't know if you guys remember those, but they're all on. My daughter has been loving them. So she'll watch 3 or 4 and then write some paragraphs about what she's learned. It's free, fun, easy. Like, it's such good content. So if you're looking for something, definitely YouTube that.
Awesome. That is too funny. Thank you, Olivia. Does anyone have any other questions for them while we have them ready to answer? I have a bunch of questions of my own, but opening it up first.
No, I have a quick question. Yeah, say Olivia, like I agree. I think this is like an amazing time to be on social media, right? So do you feel like, as someone who's an influencer, which I love, do you feel like people are being more engaged, or what have you been noticing like in that? Because you're a professional Instagrammer, right? Like professional influencer, like have you noticed people are actually being more engaged in that outlet, or what have you found?
Yeah, so I thank you all. First of all, thank you. That was so sweet of you. But
You're great. You're great. We're really proud of you. We're happy that we're working with you.
Oh, well, yeah, I have noticed a really, really, really big difference in people's, like, when they're commenting, most times it's like, love your shoes, love your outfit, or this background looks great. But people have like really genuinely been like direct messaging, which is very rare. Do you get a direct message checking on you or checking on your family? And I've gotten so many like caring direct messages, just like, if you need a friend, I'm here. Just like really reaching out to people, not complimenting or anything, just being a real human being and just starting a conversation. I've noticed a tremendous difference in just Instagram, really.
No, that's beautiful. Not the fake surface, just a like, actually DMing and like share work. That's great. I love to hear that. That's good.
I love it too. And I've seen a lot of companies that have really like been changing. Like, I guess Starbucks is giving out free coffee now for all first responders, which I love.
That's amazing.
Awesome. We would give free wine if we could, but that's illegal. They want wine more than coffee. They all want wine. They all want the wine, but we can't do that. It's illegal. But we are all about giving the free wine to all the nurses, doctors, and everyone, right, Angela? We're just not allowed.
Totally.
And that's what they want the most. They want it the most. We need to make that legal, right?
True. You never know nowadays.
It might be we could donate to the first one.
I had a few follow-up questions I think this one's more for Emily. How do you keep sane and with the energy of kids, and I know your husband as well, like how do you keep sane with balancing that education and entertaining, and always, I feel like you always have to be on, and you always have to be thinking of the next thing, and it always has to be different. Because I know, kids or people in general get tired of the same thing. So how do you keep it fresh, and how do you stay sane with entertain every day?
Well, these kids are unpredictable. So every day is a little bit different, but one of the things I've been doing is we give Noah the iPad when Chloe naps during the day. And normally I'm like so against the iPad. He doesn't get that on like weekends. Like we don't do that. And now it's become it's a norm. Like when Chloe naps, Noah doesn't nap anymore, but I just kind of need that 1 hour break. So he just goes into his room, does his iPad by himself for an hour. And it's just that, like, I can either get on the treadmill or I can just like lay down, whatever I need that day. So, and that's something that I'm like, I hate it, but I have to have that time. Like we're not going to get through the day unless I take like that break.
Oh, yeah.
That's
and
important.
that helps just kind of recharge.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the good with the bad.
When you can. And leverage for a positive reason for a little bit of self-care.
Yeah, so it's working. And he knows that he has to get all of his schoolwork done in the morning before that nap time. And then he can have his iPad and then the rest of the day can be mostly focused on like just playing and running around. But yeah, the morning is focused on schoolwork and he knows he's got to do his worksheets. And then he can, move on with the day, have the iPad and do playtime and then a little bit more screen time, like right around dinner while we're making dinner. And that keeps us all pretty normal.
Awesome, thank you. I want to bring in Angie really quick. So Angie, you have so much experience watching little ones, and sometimes you have a whole house full of kids too. And I know it's, during this time, I know you don't get to have that as much, but is there something that you can share that's worked for you? I think every time I've come over and you've had little ones, you've always had something going on. So how do you, how do you make sure that you keep the kids entertained, also like educate and things like that?
Well, I haven't done anything for 3 weeks. I haven't seen any kids for 3 weeks. So, I mean, I usually have a lot more time to plan. So I Google it or find something fun, on the internet. One of my favorite thing is making Jell-O in a fishbowl with Swedish fish. So you get a fish bowl and make blue Jell-O, and then you get those Swedish fish and put it, and then you put nerds on the bottom, and that's gravel.
Oh.
And then you get the blue Jell-O, and then the red Swedish fish. And kids,
I'm gonna have to look this up and try it.
Yeah, because you can get all that stuff at the dollar store. I don't know if you can get it right now, but I mean, some of that stuff you already have on Amazon. So that's one of my favorite things to do with kids.
That's awesome. And then you get to eat it.
Yeah,
it's 2 for 1.
That's the hard part. They never want to wait. But Carrie always, I mean, she does stuff with her kids, like makes these amazing cakes. I mean, dirt cakes and all kinds of fun stuff. So Carrie's probably better than I am when it comes to that.
Well, no.
Yeah, I like the idea of making all these treats, but I don't want to gain the COVID-19.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep it minimal during the whole week on making all these sugary treats.
Sugar-free Jell-O. So.
Hi.
Our kids seem to love
You
that.
can come over to my house. All we have is canned beans and corn.
And no meat, right?
No meat. No. I had another follow-up question too. How about, and I did have a specific site that I wanted to share, and I'm so sorry, I was trying to look for it while I was on. I'll send it in a follow-up, but there's definitely so many sites out there too in utilizing Pinterest and utilizing just different ideas and thoughts for educating and entertaining while at home. And even through, some of the people you follow on Instagram, people are posting a lot of things right now. And there's a lot of funny memes out there right now, which I'm loving. But I think the whole aspect of, kind of mixing education with entertainment and then just really like being grateful for the time that we have together while we're home and focusing on the positives of that. I think that was a really great takeaway. I know that was mentioned several times, and I mean, just look at the little smiling faces, like being able to be with those little ones every day, I think is so important. And I don't know, I like wish I could be there to squeeze those little cheeks. So I I think, does anyone else have, I guess, opening it up a little bit more to even beyond kids? We're kind of at, the last couple minutes here, but opening it up to beyond kids, like, is there anything else? I'm gonna pick on Erin for a minute. Erin, I know you have a roommate too. Like, how about you? Like, working from home just with somebody else as well? Like, what challenges have you faced, and are you appreciating this time at home? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed it. So my cousin's living here. He's basically like my little brother. Yeah, he's here right now, and so we try to cook something good every day. Normally, actually, right now we've got some Sunday red sauce sitting on the stove, and so during lunch today, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches real quick, but we use the extra lunch break time to start the Sunday red sauce that our grandma used to make, and so we're gonna sit down for like a Sunday, spaghetti and meatballs dinner in a little bit. And so just trying to, use the time, right? I think Olivia made a great point there where it's like, hey, listen, we're not stuck inside. We've got extra time, right? And we're safe at home. And as long as you've got the right stuff in your pantry, take advantage of it. So yeah, it's been really, really great. But yeah, we use the extra kind of lunch break time that we would normally take today to start the Sunday sauce. And we're gonna have a really nice dinner on a Wednesday.
Do you deliver the Sunday sauce? I love pasta.
Only in the Napa area, so I could bring some to Angela and
Oh,
Austin.
Angela, that's ridiculous. Angela's gonna get all the good stuff. Not fair.
That's amazing. I love that Sunday sauce. That sounds fantastic. I'm gonna pick really quick on. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it smells great right now. I wish I could teleport that through the cameras, but it's been building all day long. It's great.
Amazing.
Aww.
I'm gonna pick on Lauren and Maggie really quick. I know that you're in between like a possible move and everything. Like, how are you guys dealing with this right now, and how is that going?
Oh. Their sound might not be on, maybe.
Oh, there you go. You're on.
I was muted. Lauren, you
I was like,
I don't know. We just have to keep the house clean all the time when people are doing walkthroughs. But besides that,
I think that keeping the house clean is great. But we switched to video, so I saw that nobody's in there anymore. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like unknown because I'm getting used to working from home. And I think week 3, I'm finally in my groove. But the unknown of like, is somebody gonna buy my house? Mm-hmm. Should I take it off the market? What do I do next? Because I put it on the market right when this all started, and I had some good traction, and then unfortunately something fell through. So just kind of like navigating, not knowing what's happening in the future of the world, and then working from home and getting used to that, and then where. And then knowing that I'm affecting somebody else too, like Lauren's a part of this too. So
that's very compassionate of you.
Lauren's the best. And Russ is
Oh, that's
true.
true.
So he's feeling what you all are feeling too with the kids.
Yeah.
How old are yours, Russ?
10 and 12, so they've been playing Fortnite for 9 hours a day.
There's no meaning.
Oh, goodness.
I see by some of the younger parents, they're not familiar what Fortnite is. It'll be something different in like 6 or 7 years. But it's absolutely addictive, apparently, and if they don't play it, they get angry. We're trying to keep them not angry.
Some sense of routine.
For sure. It's definitely a difference, I think, between the ages and what's expected. But I think it's still always a challenge. Like, there's different reactions, whether they're 2 or whether they're 12. You still get kind of, similarities, and they still, I'm bored, or, Mom, there's still all of that going on. So it's a challenge no matter what age. And even I've experienced it too with my little Paris over there. She's being an angel at the moment, which is great. but the rest of the day she was just yapping her little, like, Mom, come play. So I think it always exists. I'm going to talk really quick. We are going a bit over, but I wanted to loop Nan in really quick too. So Nan is watching my cat and she's watching her daughter's dog right now. So she's got 2 little ones, extra ones in the house, and it's kind of new for her too. Nan, how has it been kind of being at home and you know, having them? And tell us a little bit about your experience too.
Well, I'm really loving it actually, as far as Puffy is concerned, and I've adjusted pretty well because I stay home anyway. I'm retired, but I do miss going to the Y. I miss seeing my friends. So we call each other a lot. That helps. I have been decluttering, which is such a good feeling. So I spent 2 days in my bathroom just going through drawers and linen closet, and you know, that feels good. So now I'm kind of motivated to do a different room now, you know. I've really enjoyed Puffy a lot because I don't know, when I go down the steps, she knows I'm coming and I say her name before she sees me and she starts meowing, and then I'll pet her and she'll purr and she'll purr and she'll purr. And I've just really enjoyed her, and she loves that toy you bought her too. So
good.
It's been a joy to have her here because it's something else to love and care for, someone, something. And I love the things that Olivia said, because I mean, I've been doing a lot of those same things, like walking. We've had some beautiful weather here, so I've walked every day. And I too like what she said about not feeling stuck, but feel safe.
Yeah, that's good.
And you know, it's really been hard not to spend time with my girls, but I want them to be safe too. So I try not to think about that too much, but we talk a lot on the phone, you know, so thank goodness for that.
And Lauren and I are very happy that we don't have to take care of Puffy.
And Lauren's probably really happy. She doesn't.
I love Puffy.
Do you miss her?
I do. I liked brushing that little fluffer.
I've been trying to brush her. I've been trying to brush her a lot, but she'll let me brush her back, but not under her neck. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that without her having me for lunch, you know.
So I got to ask a funny question to everybody. So I work for Rock Automation, and you know, we do video conferencing now all day long, and everybody admitted today nobody would share their pants because everybody has their professional shirts on, but everybody's in pajama pants. So I'm just kind of curious. Does anybody have enough nerve to show what their pants are today?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my goodness.
And have shoes on.
You're running.
We've seen some pretty great things today. Actually, somebody showed his boxers, which was pretty bad.
Oh, you know, that's so cute.
He had this button-up shirt, and then he stood up and he had boxers on. So.
You know, it's everywhere.
Yeah, so I was just curious. And how many people are watching Tiger King?
Already finished it.
Carrie, what about you?
No, I've been seeing all the memes and everything on Facebook, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, definitely watch it.
I feel like bad for him in a way.
Huh?
I feel like bad for him. I think he got a bad rap. I don't know.
I don't know yet. Are you watching it, Angela?
I'm finished with the season. I'm finished with it all.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, we're only on the second episode, so.
The world has come to everyone watching Tiger King. It's a sad time in the world.
Yeah, really.
That's all it's a very sad time in the world.
Oh, man. You can't quit watching.
My little Tiger King right here.
Yeah. Okay, I'm following you.
All right, Angela, cheers.
Thanks, everyone. We got a little over, but I appreciate all the conversation and everything. If anyone wants to stay on and chat a bit more, I'm good for another like 10 or so minutes and happy to chat. But cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
And everybody look at these
Yay.
apps. Look for Olivia
And
on Instagram.
yes, thank you, Emily and Olivia. Thank you guys.